All right. So one of my favorite tracks from your recent projects, I have a lot. It's like the second time I mentioned a favorite track, but one of my favorite tracks that I liked was "Stay Low."
Mm.
And I think last week you posted something on Instagram about the track itself, about being one of your personal favorites, and you described what the song was about: somebody falling in love. Can't remember the exact words you posted on Instagram, but can you talk to us about this track and why it's your personal favorite?
So the concept behind Stay Low, it's an idea that I had in my head for maybe 2, 3 years before I actually wrote the song. I was like, and when I thought of the concept, I was like, man, that's a good idea. But I can't just put this on a trap beat. I can't just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I have to wait. I have to wait this one out until I find the right track. But the concept behind the song is, have you ever seen the movie uh, Little Monsters with Fred Savage? Have you ever seen Monsters Inc., the little
I've seen,
animated
yeah,
thing?
yeah,
Okay, so Monsters Inc., right? You got all these monsters, and they like their 9 to 5 is to go scare children in their sleep,
yeah,
right? That's what they do. That's their livelihood. My idea was, if you take a monster, if you take this idea from the perspective of one of these monsters, that's what they do, is they go and scare people in their sleep. So let's say that a monster, uh, this one in particular, he's assigned to scare this one girl. I don't want to say girl, scares this one woman. That's his job. Now, let's say somewhere along those lines, he actually falls in love with her. He's crazy about her. He wants to be with her. But the only time he can ever spend any time with her is when he's in her nightmares, scaring the living hell out of her. So to him, it becomes a nightmare of his own, because he wants nothing more than just embrace her and be with her. But rather than do that to her, he says, I'm going to just stay low, just try to watch from afar, but this is how I feel about you.
yeah,
And that's really what the song is about.
yeah,
So, and I wrote it in a manner to where you can apply that story, or that feeling to just your regular person,
yeah,
right? Anybody that feels like the person that they love is unapproachable. I wrote it kind of vaguely in that sense, but ultimately, the real story of it is literally about a monster.
yeah. That's creative as fuck, man. Because I remember we talked about there was a track you had on Twin Berettas, the one with the stories on there, the prom story on there,
Uh, Last page of a diary.
last page of a diary, and I asked you if that was a real story, and you told me you just came up with those
Mm.
stories. So for you to come up with these concepts, just and put them in a track and make it make sense, to me that's pretty fucking dope. When I heard "Stay Low," the idea that I got was, when I heard it, what crossed my mind, it was somebody that you fall in love with somebody, but you feel like you cannot offer them more than what they already have, especially with the chorus when you're like, of course my mind's gonna go blank now that I'm talking about it, but you say something around the lines of
Looks like life's been treating you right.
life's been
I'm
treating
no
you.
prize when I leave here tonight. I'll just stay low.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
I hear that, that's what it feels like. Kind of like, personally, you feel like, and not you, but in general, like personally, you feel like I have nothing to offer to her. She's doing pretty good off herself. I'm
Hmm.
not good enough, kind of idea. That's what crossed my mind when I heard it.
Yeah.
And like I say, it was one of my personal favorites. So when I seen you post it, I was like, gotta talk about this, because I up to this date, like that track pops up on my playlist randomly, and that's why I wanted to talk about it. I was like, I want him to go more into detail in case people miss the Instagram post.
Yeah, but you know what? that's cool that you feel that way, because I like having music that people can interpret differently. If I was to just make music specifically about, look at my car, there's no other way to interpret that.
Yeah.
There's no other way that.
I look at the car. I was like, wait.
Yeah, there's the car. Okay, great. You
Yeah.
know, and then the next song, look at my fucking ice or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, I saw it.
Yeah. What
There's
now?
there's nothing
Yeah.
to really interpret differently from the artist's intent.
Yeah.
So I like listening to music like that. Therefore, I want to create music like that, to where somebody can, translate things however they whatever is affecting them in their own personal life.
Yeah.
That shit to me is dope.
Yeah. So what's up, man? Yeah, because like I said, you have a lot of tracks that I hear in different moods to different tracks. Not that it matters. Like I told you earlier, it's like a happy track to me. Then this one is more like a mellow, laid back track. But you hear it and you create like a story in your head. I think that's what you say you like when people create their own stories. It's kind of like you make a movie when you're listening to the track and you see it. So to me, that's pretty dope.
We are the voice of the underground.